Well, hello, babies. How are you? Are you well? Are you good? How's your fine little ass? How's your cute little ass doing? Hi. This is a general message, so take what resonates, leave the rest. Yeah. Let's get into it. You getting post-work, Melly, okay? So I just decided to grab a random book. I have not started it yet. Once again, have a lot of books I haven't started reading. So I just flipped to a random page to see what's up and read a little bit, and I'm here for the vibes. All right. It's Honor at Daybreak, a novel of one town's battle for justice, okay? By Elmer Kelton. Okay? And essentially this like sheriff is sitting on this porch in the dark, and it said he had been up for several days, and it started with he didn't need 2 sleepless nights in a row, but it looked as if this one was going to work out that way. And it goes on to like, his inner thoughts, weird shit like that. He's, thinking and planning, and he was like, he wanted to go drive around so he could like wake up, and had a feeling like about his partner, like that he was working with, was just like he was gonna go check on him. But then this lady like walked up in the dark, and from far away he could tell it was a woman, just like in the dark, like barely anything, and like knew, just like intuitively knew, and like could spot that out. And he was like, oh, like thinking like, oh, who is this? And then he heard the voice, like it barely started to talk, she barely started to talk, and he knew immediately who it was. And then it was funny because he had been thinking about his partner, like, oh, I need to go go check him out. And the partner apparently fell asleep because the lady had asked him for help. And so she's like, oh, well, I guess I gotta go find somebody else. And so then she's like, yeah, somebody got away. Like, I have no fucking idea what the book's about. So I was a little lost. But they said, somebody got away. I saw somebody going east, and he like immediately knew where they were heading. And just, he was like, the East Hotel or whatever the fuck it was. I know it's kind of I'm given the cliff notes here of a book I've never read. But anyway, he gives his partner shit, like a sarcastic remark to his partner, and his partner like didn't get it, like understand that it was sarcasm or a joke. And immediately like the sheriff was like in his head like, oh, this guy doesn't get me, like he's not understanding what I'm saying. And then the partner said like, oh, I didn't fall asleep, like once they got him caught, oh, I didn't fall asleep. And he's like, dude, you let 2 people go, and there was like theft that happened and all this shit. And he was like, well, I wasn't asleep. And he's like, okay. So what I was getting from this, as my storytelling abilities, you have this dichotomy to yourself of like intuition and just like cold logical facts about you, like how you think logically, but you also use your intuition. And the song I got on shuffle is Dial Tone by Catch Your Breath. And so what I'm getting here, just overall, like why people, it's more of like what people are thinking about that you cut them off because you peeped them. And this is like what they're like wondering. Like they're wondering like, what the fuck? Like, why did this happen? Because it's like, when I close my eyes, I see a ghost from the past and it cuts just like a knife. Hate to feel like this, but it happens all the time. Said, you never understand me. Don't know who I am. Tell me I'm just like your father. I'm not the one who caved in. You disappeared without a trace. You never bothered to explain. You just walked away. All I wanted was an answer. All I needed was to know. Give me a reason. All those messages I left you, all those nights I spent alone, give me a reason, because all that I hear is a dial tone. Okay. So, they wondering what the fuck. And so there, here we have so I picked this deck for the people wondering what the fuck. Well, what the fuck? I've seen it 1,000 times. What the fuck? That's them. That's just like, well, fuck. I've never seen this before. This doesn't happen. They're used to getting away with their little lies and stuff like that because like people aren't as perceptive as you that they've been around. Whether it's because they've just they've considered themselves to be like the smartest person in the group, the most cunning, something of that sort. And so they're having a hard time understanding that it's truly like you cut them off for sure. And like they just don't understand. They're like, well, give me a reason why you're not talking to me. And they may have been the type to like go ghost on you and like do these little manipulation things of like, oh, I'll just like play a game and like ghost them for a little bit to make them like come running after me, because they like to play these little like manipulative games and lie and stuff like that. And they're not understanding that they're being had right now, that they were peeped. So it's more of like they just don't understand. They don't realize that it's actually like the truth. They just think that, you know, you may have been nice to them, you may have been understanding in the past and like really caring, and so they just assumed that you were dumb. I guess the best way to put it, like not very bright. They're like they associate people that are nice with being like dull, dim-witted. Like that's a category for them. And I know it sounds kind of fucked up, but like that's where they're at. Like they're just not getting it. Like, so they just think that it's not over with this death card in reverse. It's not over. Or they're having a hard time like letting this go because this hasn't happened to them before. They're like, well, I'm the one who has the control of the situation because I'm the most cunning, I'm the smartest, I'm this, I'm that. It doesn't compute. I don't understand. This is them like fucking bamboozled right now. I don't mean to laugh because like, you know, it was probably not like the best situation, but it's like, what? Doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, fuck. And then we have the little baby caterpillar here. They thought that was you. Like because you have this like innocence about you, or like because you're nice, like, you know, they put that category of if you're nice and loving, you're not smart. You don't have the ability to be this like manipulator, or you don't have the ability to peep this stuff. Like they just associate with like I'm thinking of like Lenny from Mice to Men, or whatever the fuck that book is, where he's like very big and caring, but he loves a little too hard, and like he like pet the cat too hard and killed it. Like that's what they think you are. Like you're not very smart, and that you need like a sharp, mercurial, a cunning person to lead you along because you're nice. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just like funny as fuck because it's like they see. Oh my god. Oh man, it's getting deep now. All right, so they see they were raised by television or books as kids, and maybe their parents weren't around much, or their parents were just as like detached from reality, that they thought like these stories of like like Lenny, and I don't remember the other guy's name. I don't even know if it's from Of Mice and Men. I don't fucking know. Somebody will have to tell me. They know, someone will know what the fuck I'm talking about. But they hear these stories, or they see these stories on TV where like the dumb guy, dumb nice person with the big heart needs like somebody mercurial to like lead them around. So like they were raised in a way like to where they were so engulfed with like television or books or these stories, or that's just how their parents were as well, that's what they thought. Like they were detached from like the reality of things. Like they were so into these stories that they're like, that's life, this is life, those are dynamics, that is what I understand of people to be. And I'm the smart one, I'm the good one, I'm the cool one, whatever. And I'm gonna lead this person around because they're dumb. Because they're nice. Like, they just have these very, like, rigid ideas of how people are. And because maybe they have also just, with their family being on that, like, delusional side of things where they act as if they're in like a television series, or these people had like so much trauma that's how they like because we do have trauma bond here. Yeah, that's it. They had so much trauma that the only escape from their traumatic like home as a child was TV, stories, computer, whatever, magazines, all this stuff, games, whatever the fuck. Excuse me. So this, like, that is how they escaped, and coped with the crazy shit that happened at home. So they're in this like delusion that this is what people are. This is how I manipulate. This is how I control. This is who I am. And this is like what my friends will be. So it's very like rigid because they were watching these stories and listening to these stories, whatever. Holy shit. Okay. We're just getting into it. And we have the Nine of Swords here. So these tactics have worked before because they may have purposely chose to be around these types of people so that they could control, and they thought you were one of them. And so now they're in this, because I'm seeing the bed that pointed out more to me as well, that the bed is crying and like upset, and they're racking their brain over this. Like, they don't understand, because they assumed like you're supposed to be in this category of a person I can manipulate, I can control. I tell you what to do, I tell you how to act, and I just lead you around because that's what I do. This is who I'm surrounded by. This is who I choose to associate with because I see them as easy targets as a way to control them, and I feel safe doing that. And they cannot get it. They just don't understand because they saw you in this category that, well, I'm going to have control of it. I will tell them when I'm done with them or ghost them or however. And you peeped what the fuck they were doing. And so you're like, okay, like, we're not going to fuck. No. You don't even get like a true explanation because you're, Or maybe you did give an explanation and they were just so delusional that they were like, oh, they're just talking. They're just upset. And so they're just saying stuff. They don't know what they're saying. They don't know what they're talking about. They read this in an article yesterday about you know, they saw a video on narcissism or something, and they're just regurgitating, because this is what that person does. They see something, they regurgitate it, and that's how they've gotten past and through life, by manipulating and doing all this stuff. And that's how they've stayed in control and in, you know, in authority by so oh my god. My guides are fucking ruthless right now. Holy shit. So they may not actually be that intelligent. Like, I'm just gonna say it like it is. They may not be that, like, as smart as they come off, because they're literally just regurgitating the shit that they read or like hear. Because they may like speak in a way that they're like, oh yeah, I know about like psychology, or, you know, whatever the fuck they're talking about, like fitness, or like a diet, hell, even religion, like they or like philosophy and stuff. They will talk in a way and like express themselves in a way that makes them sound intelligent, but they're really just regurgitating shit. They don't have their own opinions or like ways of thinking about shit. They've just learned to like take in data and then like, okay, I think this is an appropriate time to regurgitate this information that I've heard before. I really don't know what the fuck it means, but I'm just gonna spit it out because I'm there. They may be like very good at pattern recognition and stuff like that, but it's all like they're very impressionable by like videos, articles they read, stuff like that. And so it's all like, oh my god, Jesus fucking Christ. My fucking guides are so ruthless right now. They're like, you know, they read an article the day before, and then you have this conversation, and it just so happens to be like they pick up certain words from it, and then they're like, oh, this is relevant, so I can make myself sound smart right now, and they just spit it out. And then like they have but they act as if that's their opinion and they're well versed in it. And then, you know, a couple weeks go by, they read another article or, you know, see a video on it, and they're completely a whole different opinion. They'll just spit it out. And because like no one's like ever really been like, okay, dude, like 2 weeks ago your opinion was this, and now you're like, what are you talking? Like, no one's ever like pointed that out to them. So you know, they just let them be in control, because they might be like super emotionally manipulative, chaotic emotionally. So like people are like, dude, just, oh my god, you don't want to see them mad. Like, and that's how they've gotten away with things, is you know, just seeing what they did, what they experienced as children, you know, this traumatic stuff, the ways, their control tactics of their parents and stuff like that. And so that's how they mold people into like, which they think that they're coming off in a way that's like intelligent and smart and all of this. But because they're not reading people appropriately and seeing, they also just think they're very smart and intelligent, and that like they're being perceived as that, and they don't realize that people like peep that. They're like, this guy's like, or this chick, whatever the fuck, this person is like just changing opinions left and right. And because they're so charismatic or shape-shifting, like it was what I heard, they can like mold and bend themselves. They change so much that people just kind of let them be. They're like, all right, whatever, this is who they are, this is like part of them. Or they're just seen as so like unstable that that people just let them go. They're like, you know what, I'm just gonna fold to this guy, this person, because they're on a sick one. Like, I'm just gonna let them, whatever the fuck they say, whatever. And so this person and these people that they are surrounded by they're okay with like folding and like being submissive to this person. They're like, I benefit from other reasons. Like, they benefit from this person, people, whatever the fuck, whatever, however it resonates. They benefit from them in some sort of way, so they allow their behavior and all of that. And because of this person's trauma and stuff like that, they're also really good at like the honeymoon stage and the love bombing that these people are like, oh yeah, they're fine. They're being nice to me. Like, see, they're nice to me. So they're used to controlling people with their emotional outbursts, their roller coaster, like these patterns, and they just know at the right time, or attempt to know the right time to act in a certain way. But because you also have this, I'll go further into them. So this is the Seven of Cups, and that's how I'm seeing like that shape shifting. This is them every fucking morning, like going like, what personality am I gonna wear today? Or, you know, scrolling on social media, whatever the fuck. What opinion am I going to express today? Who am I gonna be today? And there's nothing wrong with like, you know, having these multiple parts of yourself. Like, I'm not saying that, so don't think that's like, we all are very dynamic people, but this person is very emotionally immature, and so they aren't their authentic selves. So this is like, they choose masks to put on every day, and it's a different mask all the time, and they have like a whole fucking like in Harry Potter, it's that magical pouch that like you can like fucking live in and shit. Like, they have that just infinite space for these many masks that they wear, that they've collected, you know, from stories, people around them. They're really good at mirroring and collecting data. So I'm not saying they're not intelligent or anything like that. They're really good at collecting data, because once again with that trauma and whatever's happened to them in the past, they know how to reflect back and like keep themselves safe. So and they're still living in that state, even though they're no longer in the like their traumatic childhood stage. They're just living from that, and they're in this like, they just don't have the courage to be themselves with the Strength card in reverse. So this is why they wear the mask all the time, because they're hurt. They're, damn. Like how that girl is like hugging the lion. They may have never been fucking hugged as a child. They may have never felt like affection, or if they did get any, they had to like mirror and be like, okay, so how do I make my parents like me? Or, you know, whatever, anything to get attention. So like acting out these little manipulation tactics and stuff like that, all of those things. And here you are, because so we have the Three of Swords in reverse. You've done a shit ton of healing, like a fuck ton. And that has kept you, because we have the Nine of Swords. And it's interesting because we have the Nine of Swords twice here. But with this, for you, I'm seeing the Nine of Swords as, because you've done so much healing and you have been like put through so much, like anxiety, stuff like that, you've transformed it into like data. See how it's like they're stored, they're stacked so like precisely apart. I see it as like in the action movies where they're like, yeah, you want to see my back room, and it's like, you know, guns and swords and all these things that are like badass. You've turned these like traumatic events, awful things that have happened to you, abuse, stuff like that, or, you know, you've collected the data, but you've also turned it into something to protect you, something to a tool, if you will. You've turned them into tools. You've forged them and made them into swords. You forged them and made it into something you can actually fucking use and be like a functioning member of society. Like a good member of, like, you bring goodness, light, you bring good things to the community, because you can also teach, but that might just be by example. Like, putting this person in, racking their fucking brain, like, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't fit in this fucking category? What the fuck do you, what? Bro, what? They just don't get it. So, like, you were able to turn this, like, heartbreak and this healing and stuff, into these, like, tools that you use all the time. Like in the book, the sheriff is he uses his intuition, and he's like, oh, I know exactly where they're gonna go. They're gonna go to that hotel. I better start heading that way. And he was right, because he caught the chick that was stealing the bag of whatever the fuck. I didn't read any further, because I was like, oh yeah, I got the message, whatever. So not only do you use this, like, logic, you collected data, you healed from it, but you're able to tap into your intuition. And we have the Hanged Man in reverse. And I'm seeing that as, like, you have been put in a lot of situations where you were trapped. You may have been controlled. You weren't able to... You were just forced to, like, observe. Maybe you felt powerless. You had to just sit back and let things marinate, because you didn't have a choice. Or, you didn't have the courage at the time to, like, put yourself out there, and you were in this energy, you were in this strength and reverse energy. You didn't have the courage to be who you are. You didn't have the courage to speak up, all of these things. You were in this energy where you just had to sit there and watch and observe. So you collected a lot of data. A lot of things happened to you. You've lived a lot, but now you know how to, because you have these tools from healing, you know how to take action on this stuff. You know exactly what to do and when to do it. And, your intuition will tell you, okay, this person is full of shit. They're abusive to me. I've seen it a fucking 1,000 times. I know now I need to move. And, you're just cutting them off, and it cuts just like a knife. Hate to feel like this, but it happens all the time. You're like, oh, this sucks. Like, why is this person, like, this person's very abusive. This person is delusional, for one, because they think they have a hold on me. And they may do, like, little petty things to, like, get you triggered and try to get you to act a certain way. And it's because they can get people to, like, fold to them, or they may try to do stuff to get you to, like, talk to them, but you know exactly what the fuck they're doing. So you're like, hey, yeah, I know how to act in this situation. I've seen it 1,000 times. Okay. You're a seasoned sheriff. You're like, I've dealt with a lot of freaks. I've done a lot of fucking full moon shifts. I've had to tackle a few greased up naked guys. I've seen it all. You'd really have to, like, do some crazy shit to, like, catch me off guard. You're the seasoned sheriff, like, in this book. You've seen it all, and you know what to do in these situations. And nothing really phases you anymore because of the crazy shit that's happened. But unlike that person, unlike you, they still act out of this, like, oh, well, I'm going to pick a face. I'm going to, they're still they may be the same age as you, older than you, whatever, but they're still acting out of this childhood wounding, whatever they had to do to survive as children. And, you chose to transmute it and change it into something good with this Father of Cups. This is the King of Cups. You've learned and mastered, because he doesn't show his emotions, for one. The King of Cups has great mastery over his emotions. He does feel a lot internally, but he knows when to express it and when not to express it. He's just like with the seasoned sheriff, if they're surprised and like, what like, they're never gonna show that, because that's how, you know, people will pounce on that. And so, and the King of Cups, he's also extremely intuitive. So you've mastered how to, I'm not saying like you bottle up your emotions or anything. You just know how to feel it without, you know, going in chaos mode and control mode like this other person. You've done the work. You know how to feel it and work through it, or you know, you know how to be the observer and be like, oh, I'm triggered right now. Interesting. All right. And you're just like dead faced the whole time. You're like, I'm triggered right now. That's curious. I'll have to think on that. And then you just walk away from this person and they're like, what? And you get these messages with this Daughter of Wands. You get these messages from Spirit. You get these downloads. And like, what I'm getting here is like, because it guides you to do transformation with that snake on there, and they're like little downloads. They're like creative ideas. Like, so not only is it like a intuitive hit, but it's also like a creative way on how to get out of these situations with like these really turbulent, chaotic people. So once again, you're still like in that sheriff energy where you've seen it all. You know how to deal with like really intense, like turbulent, unbridled emotions in people. And you don't lose that creativity, and you constantly get new ideas on how to deal with this because you're always tapped in. You've done the work. You've become more in tune with yourself. You know, you might do meditation, shit like that. And that guides you on to keep that like dead face, that straight face, and, you know, be like, all right, so I'm going to get an idea on how to get out of here. I need to sit here and observe for a little bit, and the answer will come and I'll just act on it then. So, you know, you may have let this person like continue to talk. You may have been around them still, all of that. So this person, once again, thought that they had a grip on you, control on you. Meanwhile, you're peeping them the whole fucking time. Or, you know, you finally caught on to what they were doing, and you're just waiting for the time of like, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Here's your little hand delivered message from Spirit saying like, okay, do this to get out of here. Or I'm going to use you to give this person karma by you just fucking ghosting them, like, you know, blocking them, whatever. And by doing so, and you're obedient too, you're disciplined in this. You know, you're like, oh man, I don't really want to talk. I want to be petty as fuck to this person because they're fucking ridiculous. But you're obedient to the message. You know, Spirit tells you to fucking still talk to this person, like, and be like, hey, how's it going? Like, you know, even though you're like, you're fucking lying right now. Why are you aware that literally we all see that you're lying right now? Like, who are you lying to? What personality are you wearing today that's this delusional? And, you know, so you want to be like petty, but you're just like, all right, I'm listening to you, Spirit. Like, I really do not want to fucking be around this person right now, but you're telling me to be here, so I am. And because you do that, this puts you in the Queen of Wands energy, Queen of Pentacles, Mother of Pentacles. So this is like, ooh, okay. So because you act this way, for one, it gives you, this is like Spirit not benefits you, rewards you for all this shit that you do, like by doing this and like being there for them, because you're helping them, you're forcing them actually in a way to heal their parental wounding. So I'm seeing that, like, see how she's like the little mama deer has the little baby fawn, the little fawn. She, like, the fawn is able to like curl up and like be, you know, instead of like how, like in this picture where, you know, since it's in reverse with that strength card, they're not getting the hug, but here they're getting it. They're being forced to face their parental wounding, just childhood wounding, by your actions and by the way that spirit is telling you to deal with these situations. And then you just taking care of yourself and be like, okay, this is enough. This person is full blown, out of control, chaotic, unbridled, not self-reflective at all. I need to get the fuck out of here. We're done. And so, for one, you're rewarded by spirit for, you know, just sticking it out and listening to these little messages of like, all right, so you gotta be nice to them. You gotta be fucking nice still, even though you want to unload, lose your shit on them. They need a lesson. And, you know, this is their parental wounding. Or, you know, it forces them to like be like, oh shit. Okay, they didn't fit in box A, B, C, and so on. So there might be, like, you're teaching them, it's like, oh my God, you're like their parent. You're like teaching them things that they weren't taught as kids. And, you know, on like social interactions, emotional interactions, you're like teaching them this stuff that they should have been taught a long fucking time ago, but they didn't get it because, you know, they were watching, you know, TV, they were reading stories. So there was only this limited bandwidth of information because, you know, they may have had just parents that didn't parent them at all. They were like, all right, watch the TV. I gotta go do shit, you know? Mama's friend is over, you know, like whatever kind of weird shit was going on, like that's how they escaped. And so you're teaching them how people can be, how you should treat people. You know, you're parenting them just by you existing and being around them and like not strangling them, not throttling them. You are helping them. You're parenting them. You're like this. God's using you as a parent, whether you know it or not. And all because you're like, bro, get fucked. We're done. I'm cutting your ass off. You don't get any more of my energy. I'm not being fucking nice to you anymore. You're done. You may tell them why, you may not. But either way, by you exiting the situation, they realize they don't have control of you with this cult leader. They don't have their charm. See how we have that little like aura thing around them? They can't pull you in with their charm or what they think is their charm, which was just their emotional turbulence, love bombing, all this stuff. That didn't work on you. And so they're realizing like, okay, something's up. Like, why didn't that work? Or, you know, they become even more mad, and at some point they're going to be forced to do some sort of self-reflection. I mean, they can't continue. They may literally explode at some point if they continue to be angry and racking their brain to try to understand. And they may see with this lesson of, you know, stay in your lane in reverse. This may, and we have, sorry, I didn't see this card, with jealous. You're teaching them lessons on how not to act out of these like darker energies. You know how like little kids will like hit each other because another one has a toy that they want, or, you know, they'll be pulling the toy back and forth. They're still in this energy as an adult. And so that's why they meddle and try to sabotage. They try to like do these petty things to pull you in or like get you pissed off or something. You're teaching them not to act out of this jealousy, out of these uncomfortable feelings, and to stay in your own fucking lane, because they weren't before. They were meddling, sabotaging, gossiping, doing all this stuff, trying to trigger you in any way, because that's what would, you know, get them. And that's what works for other people, you know, their family, their emotionally immature family as well. But you're a whole ass starseed. You're a whole ass chosen one. You're immune to that narcissism. You've dealt with enough of it that you're like, I've seen it a fucking 1,000 times. I've survived it. I've pulled the fucking swords out of every single part of me. I have learned how to heal. And because you're a starseed and you're kind and you have this earth angel quality about yourself, that's why they thought you were dim-witted, not smart, unable to see. You weren't cunning. You weren't mercurial. You weren't able to use logic and have these this data, this quick mind with this Nine of Swords. They didn't realize that because you're an earth angel and you're so resilient, that you transmuted this shit into, like, you know, cold hard steel, baby. And so they didn't understand that, you know, yes, you are very kind and good-hearted, and you try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but they didn't understand that you're also a cold hard bitch. And you have a direct line to spirit, and you don't act out of this trauma. All right, okay. Oh, shit. We have the Son of Swords, which this is the Knight of Swords. I'm seeing this as, like, because of how you acted, and they're like, all I wanted was an answer. All I needed was to know. Give me a reason. Give me a reason. Tell me why. You're delivering, because this is like, they bring messages, and it's like they bring, especially with the swords, it's like thoughts, words, like that type of thing. It's quick. You bring them a lesson quicker than anybody else could ever do. It could have, even if their parents one day decided to be like, hey, people are like this is how you should be, like, that wouldn't get to them. But because of the way you acted, and you know, you were nice before and like kind and loving, and then you fucking switched up on them and been like, and it cuts like a knife, and they hate to feel like this, you know, you completely cut them off. You were like, yeah, I peep you. You may have even told them, like, hey, you're a fucking narcissist. Like, I'm not here for you. Like, I don't like the way you treat me. You're an asshole. That is exactly what they needed. Whether you told them nothing and ghosted, or, you know, because you listened to the message from spirit on exactly how the fuck you were going to do this, that this helps them change tremendously quicker than anybody else could do it, because you completely trusted spirit. You were disciplined. You listened to your intuition. You were a seasoned sheriff about it, even though you wanted to be, you know, this King of Cups in reverse and be like, you know what, fuck you. You gonna meet all of my fucking demons right now. Every demon I've ever exorcised, I'm gonna call them back just to unload on your ass. But because of exactly how you've handled it, you listen to spirit, and, you know, you've used all of these wonderful tools to do this. This is like what is going to bring their healing, and this imbalance with this Two of Pentacles in reverse. This, ooh, you know what? I'm seeing this differently. It's bringing this in quickly to, you know, this, it's making them, instead of, because this Two of Pentacles upright, that's like somebody juggling a bunch of shit, like doing a lot, especially with their several masks that they're wearing. This is making them drop that shit and start becoming more authentic. And, you know, it's not going to be overnight. It's not, but it's going to be quicker than anybody else doing this because of your starseed ability, your energy. God is using you as like the perfect fucking tool. You're a fucking tool. And so you're like making them drop this bullshit and come into balance with this Temperance card. And, you know, you're forcing them to learn alchemy, learn, you know, they may have, you know, saw like, okay, how to heal from family trauma. Like I said earlier, where they would read articles on something and just regurgitate it. They never really like thought on it, had a true opinion about it. Like, it was just the flavor of the day. And, you know, they would tuck it away. They still had a great memory. You have to be when you're full of lies. When you just lie on lie on lie, you kind of have to have a good memory, and you have to do all this work, juggling all this shit. You're now making them, you know, file through all of the articles and shit they've read before. And then they're actually having to go back and be like, oh, I have childhood wounding. I have trauma. I'm not just regurgitating information. I'm living it. Wow. Because you're parenting them. Damn, son. Damn. What? I like that. I mean, as fucked up as it is, you know, I like that. You're helping people out. You're doing a good job. Oh, fuck. So we have the King of Wands in reverse. And this is like control, manipulation, insecurity. So you're highlighting this. You're bringing a truth to this. And they're seeing this now because you have them so shooketh, bamboozled, just racking the fuck out of their brain over this, that they're forced to see the truth about themselves, their insecurities, their, you may have actually started like calling them on their lies unintentionally or intentionally, whatever. And they would get caught and like all flustered and, you know, get into their, emotional immaturity where they would get into the turbulent energy and start like, you know, being aggressive or anything like that. But because you're in that seasoned sheriff energy, you're just like, I'm going to de-escalate the situation, you know, like I'm going to keep a calm voice, even though I want to fucking choke a bitch. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm them down. And, you know, you're using that energy, and it makes them feel like a damn fool because they see that they were acting out of anger. Because like the King of Wands in reverse is like angry, just controlling. I see someone like punching walls and shit, like just really losing it, you know, trying to get people like scared of them so they can get control of the situation again because they felt out of control. And because you're like, no, I'm not scared. I'm not going to back away. You're acting like a baby right now. Like, and you're making them see the truth with this, like that they're in this energy of acting like a fucking baby. You're like, how old are we again? And you're going to go sit down. You're going to go apologize to all the nice people around here. And you're their fucking parent. You're unintentional, never fucking planned. You're parenting their ass. Was that very nice? That's the truth. Your words can cut deep. That was very mean. Go apologize. And however it ends, you may never have to even fucking say anything to this person, but you just like exiting out of their life and they don't get access or control over you anymore. It fucks them up. It makes them do some serious ass reflection. Oh my God. And guess what? Under that, we had the fucking Queen of Cups. The mommy. The ultimate mommy. Oh, yeah. This is definitely them. This is like, your energy does something to them that like how once you get through this insane bullshit that they do, or it may even just trigger their like true infant like pacifier days. Something about you triggers that in them, and so that's why they act all like extra. They may just, you know, the controlling and stuff like that, but you just, with your behavior and like staying calm and de-escalating and, you know, all of that and being like, hey, that was fucking rude, whatever, however you end up doing this with these people, like that puts them in the state of like, I need to depend on this person. You are straight up their parents. Like, and if this hasn't happened yet, it may happen. And I'm not saying for everybody, but I saw the Chariot card and like how his face is. You may get people coming back to you, like, and it could be from like years past or whatever, and they want to like make you proud, be like, hey, so I'm doing really good, like, and they may not, like, take it how it resonates, but they like try to come back and being like, so guess what, I got a job and I did this, and like they just want to get that like parental, like, hey, I'm proud of you, good job, like there's something about you, they're like, I am a better person now and I need to show you this because you trigger the fuck out of me and make me feel like a little baby. So if this doesn't happen to you, or it does and you're like wondering like, what the fuck is a person like bragging to me, what are they trying to do? They want you to treat them as their kid and be like, oh wow, that's so great, good job, I'm proud of you, because they never got that, and there's something within you, your energy, that like triggers the fuck out of them and puts them in that baby energy, and like you're their fucking parent, whether you like it or not. You're playing a parental role for them. I said what I said. All right, babies, have a wonderful evening. This has been fun. Thank you so much for being here, and I love you so much. Goodbye.